This is the Apple Watch Ultra. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I'm not scuba diving. I'm not climbing a mountain or going to the wild and getting lost.
But like you might be wondering, I want to find out if this Apple Watch Ultra can be used like a normal watch. Let's go.
But you might also be wondering, does it improve how it tracks your exercise? How well does it track your sleep? Is it too big to have in bed? Will it work with an Android ecosystem? And how good is the mobile service on it? The Apple Watch Ultra has been fantastic so far. By now, you probably know everything there is to know about it, which is why in my next few videos about the watch, I wanted to focus on using it as a standard dad. Okay, I really think Apple used their marketing incredibly well here, promoting the use of this watch to explorers and marathon runners, but they know damn well, right, that they would attract people like me and you who just love a shiny new gadget. I do a little bit of running and cycling and go to the gym kind of occasionally every week, but I'm definitely not running marathons and definitely not climbing mountains, going down volcanoes. I'll be perfectly honest, for the past few years, Apple just didn't give me enough reason to even upgrade my Series 5. You know, it's still going strong, the battery lasts all day on it, and I never really needed the extra bells and whistles that came with the Series 6 or 7.
And I'll confess something to you, if it wasn't for the Ultra, I'd probably skip the Series 8 as well.
The Sapphire crystal display on this is the most beautiful display on any digital watch I've tried. Yes, it's big, and everyone is saying that in their videos, right? But even for me, I have fairly thin wrists. You feel okay from a size perspective. The always-on Retina display is extremely bright, but in a nice and pleasing way. Everything feels very smooth and easy to operate.
And it looks awesome outside too, super bright. And one of my favorite things is turning the digital crown into night mode.
That red would be awesome when you're camping and it's pitch black outside, but it just looks so cool. The haptics on it are incredible. The feel on the glass is just outstanding. I actually bought some screen protectors for it, but I'm really reluctant to put them on because it just feels great, and I don't know, I'm gonna be very careful with it of course, but I'm gonna try and avoid having to put a screen protector on it for a while and see how that goes. Apple's been disappointing me so many times recently, but when it comes to the Watch Ultra, everything is just a delight to use. The buttons on this watch have a great feel to it. They're extremely easy to access, and wearing gloves or using it underwater will not be a problem here. I chose the Alpine look here, as you can see, and this was 100% based on looks rather than functionality, gotta be honest. The best band for me would actually be the Trail Loop, just based on what I do, but just look at this thing, it's just lovely. Great materials as well. I had to choose the small size as well to get the delivery on time, but I'm gonna try and get a medium and perhaps a different color as well. The size S is just about okay for me right now, but feels a bit tight when removing it. Now, when it comes to set up the watch with your mobile service provider, this will vary depending on the carrier and also depending on whether you're transferring your previous plan onto the Ultra. The whole setup was actually a breeze, but over here in the UK, it was a bit of a challenge for me to connect to my service provider. In fact, I spent 45 minutes on the phone to get it done, and you know, you're not going to believe this, but I actually had to speak with a human being to get it sorted. It slightly ruined the experience for me, but I was over that very quickly because it's just an amazing watch to use.
Us tech reviewers sometimes get overexcited about the tech and forget to do the basics.
Let's make a phone call. This time I'm not actually telling my friend where I'm calling him from. I want him to guess.
Good, thank you. Here comes the crucial question. Do I sound the same or better or worse than the last time I called you from the iPhone 14 Pro Max?
It's not the same.
The same?
Just the volume of your voice go up and down.
Yeah, okay. So when I speak like this, probably my voice is distant, and when I speak like this, it's a bit closer.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Cool, man. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks, bye. Bye. Well, that was interesting. He didn't know it was a watch that I was calling from, which is a good start. The microphone is good, but if you move your head slightly away from it, then obviously it will sound a bit distant, like you said. So, good start. Let's
The
go.
Apple Watch has 3 microphone arrays, which helps filter out the noise, and the built-in AI sort of selects the best microphone to use, depending on the noise that it detects, and tries to select the best mic for it. Right, apologies for the wind noise there that you may have picked up on the phone, but I really wanted to show you what it's like to use it outside, which is where you're most likely to be when you need it. And something happened actually that I thought was really interesting. With my Series 5, I could make and receive calls, but I only ever used it a couple of times because people always complained that the quality wasn't great. So 9 times out of 10, I would pick up the phone instead of the watch, which kind of rendered the whole mobile plan situation a bit useless for me. But just based on this short experience, I immediately changed how I'm gonna use my watch. During one of my runs, I received a couple of calls and they were flawless. I'm in the countryside here and mobile signal is not always the best, so I was super impressed with that. By the way, YouTube can be quite tricky for a small channel like this, so if you're enjoying this video, a thumbs up will go a long way. It really helps YouTube recommend the channel to other people. And if you like my stuff, a sub to the channel will be amazing. I really appreciate that. The benefit to you is that I will be here at least once a week with a new down-to-earth tech video for you. I have loads of new content coming up, including more videos about the Apple Watch Ultra, the iPhone 14 Pro Max, 14 Plus is coming, but also non-Apple videos. So if you're into gadgets, you're gonna be in good company here. Talking about non-Apple, one of the things that you might be wondering is, would it work with an Android phone? And unfortunately, Apple don't let you use the Apple Watch without an iPhone. So it's one of those things that they lock you in that way, right? Not much we can do about that. Now, this is not necessarily an Apple Watch Ultra feature, but I love how the new WatchOS gives more useful data during and after your exercise.
For me, the main benefit so far about the Apple Watch Ultra is actually the size of the display. Having all of this data available to you at a glance, like your heart rate zones, your kind of your running form, even things like stride length and ground contact time. There's a lot of stuff in here that I never had available to me before on my Series 5, and it's going to make a big difference for me, so I'm loving it so far.
I think this watch is going to be amazing for a lot of people to help them stay fit and actually improve in their exercise. For me, improve my running. Another great feature is adding a waypoint. That's a really neat feature. I don't really see myself using this on a day-to-day basis between the kitchen and my desk. Plus, I know where the pub is. But it's just really nice to know that you can get back to where you came from without any problems. Worst case scenario, you can always sound the 86 decibel sonic salvation siren. What, to order another pint?
No, it's to get help if I get injured. It's probably annoying though.
One of the big issues I had with my previous Apple Watches was how bad they were at tracking sleep. I actually had an old Fitbit that was a lot better than Apple Watches to track sleep. Now, I only had a couple of nights with this, but I can already tell it's not perfect. In some ways, it's a bit of a game changer, but in a very important way, it's still not as good as other solutions out there from a software perspective. Let's start with the positives, right? My main concern was whether this would be annoying to wear in bed, uncomfortable. And surprisingly, it wasn't. I honestly thought there is no way this is gonna be, look at the size of it, right? There's no way it's gonna be comfortable, but so far so good. It's just very light, and the band itself, the material is very light as well. It doesn't get hooked into anything. Obviously, you're gonna need to use your sleep focus mode, and that is a must, right? So that you're not blinding people in the bedroom. There is another positive, which is the data, but I'll get to that in a minute. The issue I have with it is the alarm function. With all of the data and intelligence you've got here, right? This is a computer effectively. It still doesn't seem to optimize the wake up time. I use an app called Sleep Cycle on my iPhone, which can detect the optimal wake up time. So it changes the alarm to an earlier setting, which means it's not going to interrupt your REM sleep, for example. The result is you wake up feeling more refreshed. And I just wish the Apple Watch Ultra, or any Apple Watch for that matter, would work this out itself without me having to use other apps. Come on, Apple, this seems like an easy one to implement, or just buy one of these companies. But I don't know, maybe I'm doing something stupid here. That's entirely possible. If you know there's a better way of using the alarm which takes the sleep cycles into account, then let me know please in the comments. I may have missed it. There are loads of functionality here that I'm barely scratching the surface of. Safety features like crash and fall detection and the emergency SOS will be absolutely vital for a lot of people. I don't particularly like how Apple played with our emotions like that, like buy our tech or you're gonna die alone in a mountain. Okay, Apple, we get it, it's great tech. But for me, it's just very unlikely that I will need some of these features, but it gives me peace of mind to know that it's there, and I'm sure it gives you peace of mind as well. The Apple Watch Ultra is just an absolute marvel of engineering. Every time I look at it, every time I look at the design and how it was made, it's just, incredible. I wasn't sure when I ordered it, to be honest, but now I already know that this is going to be with me a lot of the time. I can see some occasions where this won't go together, like if you're going for a smart dinner with somebody or a business meeting. I don't know, this probably will look out of place, but maybe that's where accessories will come in, like leather accessories, and I will be reviewing quite a few of those, you can bet on it. It's a lot to pay for a watch, right? But when you consider the alternatives and the functionality that you're getting here, this price actually starts to make a lot of sense. They used premium materials here, and it's just a top quality product. Apple messed up with the iPhone for me and the iPad Pro recently with the M1 iPad Pro, but with the Apple Watch Ultra, yeah, they smashed it. I'm really looking forward to using it in day-to-day situations in the coming weeks and months and seeing how this helps me in my fitness and day-to-day stuff. YouTube thinks you're gonna like this video over here, and I made this playlist over here that I think you're gonna like as well. Alright, time to go. Bye.
I tried peeking through